Greetings to all viewers of our channel. It is important to emphasize that we do not promote fascism, Nazism, or any other ideologies associated with crimes against humanity. This video is created solely for informational purposes and is strictly historical in nature. The traditional color of SS uniforms was originally black, but in 1938 it was replaced with light gray. The hierarchy of ranks in the Allgemeine SS and the Waffen-SS was generally similar, although there were certain differences. Within the Allgemeine SS, there were two preliminary ranks for those seeking to join the organization, Bewerber and Amateur. A Bewerber was not allowed to wear the uniform at all, while an Amateur could wear it only once a year, on the anniversary of the Munich Beer Hall Putsch, and even then without shoulder boards or collar patches. On the 20th of April, Adolf Hitler's birthday, a candidate received a permanent identification card, gained the right to wear the full uniform with insignia, and took an oath of loyalty to the Führer. In the Waffen-SS, there were no candidate ranks. Initially, service in these units was voluntary, but in the second half of the war, soldiers began to be drafted. The lowest rank was determined according to the soldier's specialty: rifleman, Schütze, artilleryman, cannoneer, cavalryman, reiter, sapper, pioneer. The equivalent rank in the Allgemeine SS was SS man. The shoulder boards were made of black material with white edging. The collar patches were black parallelograms measuring 40 by 55 millimeters. On the right collar patch were two Sieg runes, which could be metallic, embroidered with aluminum thread, or cut from gray fabric and sewn onto the cloth. These patches were worn only by soldiers of purely German divisions, such as Leibstandard, Das Reich, or Hitlerjugend. For soldiers in foreign SS divisions, the emblem of their respective division was placed on the right collar patch. The left collar patch, however, always remained entirely black. The next rank in seniority in the Waffen-SS after Schütze was Oberschütz, equivalent to the rank of private in the Wehrmacht. For specialists, there were corresponding ranks: senior artilleryman, Oberkanonier, senior sapper, Oberpionier, and so on. Their shoulder boards and collar patches were the same as those of a Schütze, but on the left sleeve above the elbow, there was a 5-centimeter diameter circle with a silver star in the center. There was no equivalent rank in the Allgemeine SS. Typically, an Oberschütz was armed with a Karabiner 98K rifle. The third rank in seniority in the Waffen-SS and the fourth in the Allgemeine SS was Sturmmann. It was equivalent to Gefreiter in the Wehrmacht and to a junior corporal in the Red Army. The shoulder boards remained unchanged, but a single row of light gray double braid was added across the left collar patch. In addition, a Sturmmann wore a black equilateral triangle sleeve insignia with a single row of aluminum lace. The standard weapon was the Karabiner 98K rifle. A Sturmmann could serve as the second gunner in a machine gun crew, a telephone operator, or a scout. The highest rank among the enlisted men in the Waffen-SS was Rottenführer. He could serve as the lead gunner in a machine gun crew, a skilled sniper, a radio operator, an armored vehicle driver, a tank driver mechanic, or a gunner. The equivalent rank in the Wehrmacht was Oberstfreiter. The Rottenführer's shoulder boards were the same as those of other enlisted soldiers. The sleeve insignia was similar to that of Sturmmann, but featured two rows of aluminum lace. The left collar patch bore two rows of double braid. Thus, the rank could be identified both by the sleeve insignia and the left collar patch. The next rank in the SS was Unterscharführer, which belonged to the non-commissioned officer corps, equivalent to junior NCOs in the Wehrmacht. Notably, in the Waffen-SS, all soldiers and officers were considered comrades on equal terms, regardless of rank or position, allowing even a private to address a general informally. The rank of Unterscharführer corresponded to an NCO in the Wehrmacht and to a junior sergeant in the Red Army. The shoulder boards were edged with aluminum braid on three sides, and a single silver star was placed on the left collar patch. As with all NCOs, the lower and front edges of the collar were decorated with silver braid. When wearing camouflage uniform, the distinguishing mark was a single horizontal green stripe on the sleeve. However, numerous wartime photographs show that SS men often avoided wearing sleeve insignia and instead left their collar patches visible over the camouflage. An Unterscharfer commanded a rifle squad of 10 men, a gun crew, or a tank crew. Depending on the position, he could be armed with either an MP-40 submachine gun or a Carabiner 98K rifle. If serving as a tank commander, he was issued a pistol. The next rank in seniority was SS Scharfer, roughly equivalent to an Unterfeldwebel in the Wehrmacht and a sergeant in the Red Army. The shoulder boards were edged with aluminum braid on all sides, and on the left collar patch, in addition to a silver star, there was a single row of double braid. On camouflage uniforms, the distinguishing mark was 2 horizontal green stripes. In the Allgemeine SS, a Scharfer commanded a territorial unit called a Scharen, consisting of 2 to 3 Rotten or 8 to 15 men. Scharen were formed in groups of villages or city districts. In the Waffen-SS, a Scharfer commanded a rifle squad or a tank crew and could also serve as the deputy commander of a rifle platoon. He was typically armed with an MP-40 submachine gun. The rank of SS Oberscharfer was equivalent to a Feldwebel in the Wehrmacht and a senior sergeant in the Red Army. The shoulder boards were edged with aluminum braid and featured a single silver star, while the left collar patch displayed 2 silver stars arranged diagonally. On camouflage uniforms, the distinguishing mark was 3 horizontal green stripes. In the Waffen-SS, an Oberscharfer served as the deputy commander of a rifle platoon of about 50 men and could take command of it if necessary. In the Panzerwaffe, he commanded a tank crew or a half platoon of 2 tanks. He was armed with either submachine gun or a pistol. The next rank was SS Hauptscharführer, which until 1942 was the highest rank among the NCOs. The shoulder boards had a similar design but featured 2 silver stars, while the left collar patch bore these stars plus a single row of double braid. On camouflage uniforms, the distinguishing mark consisted of 4 horizontal green stripes. The rank of Hauptscharfer roughly corresponded to an Oberfeldwebel in the Wehrmacht and a Starschina in the Red Army. Typically, a soldier of this rank served as a company sergeant major, and in cases of personnel shortages could command a rifle platoon of about 50 men. The rank of SS Sturmscharfer was introduced in May 1942 and was intended for servicemen who performed officer duties but, for various reasons, could not receive an officer's commission. Most often, these were battalion sergeant majors. The shoulder boards carried 3 silver stars, 2 in the lower part and 1 in the upper part. The left collar patch featured 2 rows of double braid and 2 silver stars arranged diagonally. On camouflage uniforms, the distinguishing mark consisted of 5 horizontal green stripes. The rank of Sturmscharfer corresponded to a Stabsfeldwebel in the Wehrmacht and a Starschina in the Red Army. The rank of SS Untersturmführer belonged to the Junior Leadership Corps, which in the SS was not formally referred to as officers. Instead, personnel were classified as junior, intermediate, or senior leaders, Führer. The equivalent rank in the Wehrmacht was Lieutenant, and in the Red Army, it corresponded to a lieutenant. The shoulder boards were made of 2 rows of double silver braid. The inner braid was folded in half to form a loop for the button, while the outer braid wrapped around it. The lower backing was black, and the upper edging matched the color of the service branch. The left collar patch displayed 3 silver stars arranged diagonally. On camouflage uniforms, the distinguishing insignia consisted of 1 horizontal green stripe and 1 row of double green oak leaves. In the Waffen-SS, an Untersturmführer typically commanded a rifle platoon of 50 men or a tank platoon of 4 tanks and 19 soldiers. He was armed with a pistol and in some cases also carried a submachine gun. The rank of SS Obersturmführer corresponded to an Oberleutnant in the Wehrmacht and a senior lieutenant in the Red Army. The shoulder boards had the same design as those of the previous rank, but with an additional silver star placed in the center. On the left collar patch, along with 3 stars, there was 1 row of double braid. On camouflage uniforms, the distinguishing insignia consisted of 2 horizontal green stripes and 1 row of double green oak leaves. In the Allgemeine SS, an Obersturmführer served as the deputy leader of a territorial unit known as a Sturm. In the Waffen-SS, He typically commanded a rifle or tank platoon, and in cases of personnel shortages could take command of a rifle company of about 190 men. He was armed with a pistol and a submachine gun. The last rank in the category of junior leaders was SS Hauptsturmführer, equivalent to a Hauptmann in the Wehrmacht and a captain in the Red Army. The shoulder boards bore 2 silver stars, while the left collar patch featured 2 horizontal rows of double braid and 3 silver stars arranged diagonally. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of 3 horizontal green stripes and 1 row of green oak leaves. In the Allgemeine SS, a Hauptsturmführer commanded a territorial unit called a Sturm, consisting of 3 to 4 Truppen, numbering approximately 80 to 150 men. Such a unit covered a rural district or a small town. In the Waffen-SS, a soldier of this rank commanded a rifle company of about 190 men, a tank company of 19 tanks and 140 men, or an artillery battery of 4 guns and roughly 150 men. The Hauptsturmführer was armed with a pistol and had a personal vehicle with a driver. The next rank was SS Sturmbannführer, belonging to the middle leadership cadre. It was equivalent to a major in the Wehrmacht and in the Red Army. The shoulder boards were made of double silver braids woven into a complex pattern nicknamed the caterpillar. The lower backing was black, while the upper edging matched the branch of service. 4 silver stars were placed at the corners of the left collar patch. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of a single horizontal stripe and 2 rows of green oak leaves. In the Allgemeine SS, a Sturmbannführer served as the deputy commander of a territorial unit called a Sturmbahn. In the Waffen-SS, he commanded an infantry battalion of approximately 860 men or a tank battalion of 50 to 70 vehicles. The Sturmbannführer was armed with a pistol and provided with a personal vehicle and driver. The rank of SS Oberführer corresponded to an Oberstleutnant in the Wehrmacht and a lieutenant colonel in the Red Army. The shoulder boards with the caterpillar braid featured a single silver star, while the left collar patch, in addition to 4 stars, included 1 row of double braid. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of 2 horizontal stripes and 2 rows of green oak leaves. In the Allgemeine SS, an Obersturmbannführer commanded a territorial unit called a Sturmbahn, which comprised 4 Sturm, 1 Sanitätsstaffel, medical unit, and 1 band. The unit numbered approximately 500 to 800 men. A Sturmbahn covered a large city and served as a primary tactical unit of the Allgemeine SS. In the Waffen-SS, an Obersturmbannführer commanded an infantry battalion, an artillery battalion, or a tank battalion. As with all senior Führer ranks, he was provided with a personal vehicle and driver. The next rank in seniority was SS Standartenführer, equivalent to an Oberst in the Wehrmacht and a colonel in the Red Army. The shoulder boards had a similar design, but featured 2 silver stars, and the collar patches underwent significant changes. First, the patches were paired with the same design on both sides. Second, instead of the usual silver stars and braid, each patch displayed a single oak leaf with acorns. Until May 1942, the oak leaves were curved. After that, they became straight. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of 3 horizontal stripes and 2 rows of green oak leaves. In the Allgemeine SS, a Standartenführer commanded a territorial unit called a Standarte, which included 3 Sturmbahn, 1 reserve Sturmbahn, and 1 band, totaling approximately 2,800 to 3,500 men. A Standarte could be infantry or cavalry and covered a large city or 2 to 3 smaller towns. In the Waffen-SS, a Standartenführer commanded an infantry, artillery, cavalry, or tank regiment. The last rank in the category of Mittelführer was SS Oberführer. There was no equivalent rank in either the Wehrmacht or the Red Army. It occupied a position between colonel and major general. The shoulder boards had the same design as those of Standartenführer, but on both collar patches there were 2 oak leaves instead of 1. It is worth noting that the collar patches of all officers, starting from Untersturmführer, had a silver edging, which was absent on the enlisted rank insignia. On the camouflage uniform, The distinguishing insignia for an Oberführer consisted of 4 horizontal stripes and 2 rows of green oak leaves. In the Waffen-SS, an Oberführer commanded a regiment, while in the Allgemeine SS, he led a territorial unit called an Abschnitt, which included 3 Standarte and several specialized formations. Unlike lower-level territorial units, each Abschnitt had its own name instead of a numerical designation. The next rank in seniority was SS Brigadeführer, which belonged to the General Officer Corps. It was equivalent to a major general in the Wehrmacht and the Red Army. The shoulder boards were woven in the caterpillar pattern from triple braid. The outer strands were golden and the central strand was silver. The backing for all SS generals' shoulder boards was gray. The collar patches were paired and had a silver edging. Until May 1942, the collar patches of a Brigadeführer featured 2 silver oak leaves embroidered with silver thread, with a single silver star at the bottom. After the introduction of a new general officer rank, the collar patch design was changed to 3 oak leaves without stars. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of a single horizontal stripe and a row of yellow oak leaves in combat units. The full title of the rank was SS Brigadeführer und der Generalmajor der Waffen-SS. Officers of this rank commanded infantry, motorized, tank, mountain rifle, or cavalry divisions, totaling approximately 17,000 men. In the Allgemeine SS, a Brigadeführer could lead a small territorial unit called an Oberabschnitt. The slide depicts the legendary commander of the 12th SS Panzer Division Hitlerjugend, Kurt Meyer, nicknamed Panzermeyer. The rank of SS Gruppenführer corresponded to a lieutenant general in the Wehrmacht and the Red Army. The shoulder boards had a similar design, but 1 silver star was added in the center. On the collar patches, 3 silver oak leaves were embroidered until May 1942, after which an additional silver star was added at the bottom. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of 2 horizontal stripes and a row of yellow oak leaves. In the Waffen-SS, the full title of the rank was SS Gruppenführer und der Generalleutnant der Waffen-SS. Officers of this rank commanded an army corps comprising 2 to 3 divisions, totaling approximately 35,000 to 50,000 men. In the Allgemeine SS, a Gruppenführer led a medium-sized territorial unit called an Oberabschnitt, which consisted of 2 to 3 Abschnitt. The next highest general officer rank was SS Obergruppenführer, which corresponded to a general of the branch in the Wehrmacht and a colonel general in the Red Army. In the Waffen-SS, the full official title was SS Obergruppenführer und der General der Waffen-SS. The shoulder boards retained their previous braid pattern and color scheme, but the number of silver stars increased to 2. On the collar patches, until May 1942, 1 star was placed alongside 3 silver oak leaves. Later, a second star was added. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of 3 horizontal stripes and a row of yellow oak leaves. In the Allgemeine SS, an Obergruppenführer commanded a large territorial unit called an Oberabschnitt. In the Waffen-SS, he typically led an army corps composed of 3 to 4 divisions of uniform type, totaling approximately 50,000 to 70,000 soldiers. The rank of Obergruppenführer combined administrative, operational, and strategic responsibilities, serving as a bridge between senior command and the general officer levels within the SS. The next highest general officer rank was SS Oberstgruppenführer, held by only 4 individuals during the existence of the SS. The rank was introduced in May 1942 due to the sharp increase in SS personnel and the organizational need to establish a new, highest level of command. It was this rank that prompted the redesign of all SS general officer collar patches. In combat units, the full title was SS Oberstgruppenführer und der Generaloberst der Waffen-SS. This rank corresponded to a Generaloberst in the Wehrmacht and a general of the army in the Red Army. The shoulder boards retained their traditional design, but the number of silver stars increased to 3. On the paired collar patches, 3 silver oak leaves were embroidered, with 3 additional silver stars added at the bottom. On the camouflage uniform, the distinguishing insignia consisted of a wide horizontal yellow stripe with 3 silver stars and a row of oak leaves above it. Functionally, an Obergruppenführer commanded an army composed of 2 to 3 army corps, totaling approximately 100,000 to 150,000 soldiers. The rank combined strategic, operational, and administrative authority, uniting powers across multiple levels of command and providing direct leadership over large combat and organizational structures of the SS.